يا راغبا في كل علم نافع.
ينمو العلم ويتقدم بتقنياته ومجالاته، ومعه نطور أدواتنا في تقديم العلم الشرعي. أكاديمية
زاد أكاديمية ينبوعها صاف ليروي غلة الظمآن. وتعلم الفقه الميسر عاملا بالشرع دون تعصب لفلان. بشرى لنا زاد أكاديمية للعلم كالأزهار في البستان.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه. The fourth condition so that the selling and buying is valid and accepted is that the item sold should be owned and possessed by the seller at the time of the transaction. Because a lot of the people may sell things that they do not possess at the time, or at least they're not authorized by the owner to sell. And the Prophet said this, alayhi salatu wasalam, in an authentic hadith: do not sell that which is not in your possession. And this is the hadith of Hakeem ibn Hizam and others. May Allah be pleased with him. What does that mean? It means that so many people get involved in what is known as drop shipping. So they display on their Instagram page that we have this Rolex watch or this or that, and it costs this much. So people buy it from them. Then they go and look to find that item to buy and then resell it to them. This is not permissible. You have to possess the watch first before you auction it for selling or you display it for selling. And sometimes people act like good Samaritans. So I'm driving my brother's car and someone is so fascinated with it. He says, Akhi, I love your car. I want to buy it. It's not my car. So I said, okay, I'm going to sell it for you for 50,000. And he says, okay, I accept. And the transaction is done. And by the way, this is how transactions are finalized in Islam. It's not a contract. It's not something legal. It's man to man. So I say to someone, I sell you my car for 50,000. He says, I accept. It's done. Okay, where's my money? The transaction is done. The money is a debt in his possession. He has to deliver. But the transaction is done. I can't go back home and at night someone says, oh, why did you sell it for 50,000? I'll give you 70,000. And I call the guy and say, listen, I changed my mind. No, you can't change your mind. The transaction is done in Islam. This is why what we say, we're held accountable. One word takes you into Islam. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. And one word takes you out of the fold of Islam if it's a blasphemous word. Transactions are the same. Marriage is the same. Divorce is the same. A single word does the job. Now, if I sold this man my brother's car for 50,000, this transaction is invalid. However, Islam's tolerance is so beautiful that it says, well, it is invalid. However, it is dependent on your brother's approval, the real owner. So we go to him, and if he says, yes, I have approved it, khalas, done. It's a done deal. And if he says, no, I don't approve it, then it's your fault. The transaction does not take place. The fifth condition is that there has to be no ambiguity in what you're selling. So the item in place to be sold has to be identified thoroughly, either by seeing it or by a description that does not accept any form of ambiguity. Why do we say this? Because Islam protects both seller and buyer. Imagine if you see something and you say that, whoa, this is what I want to buy. And the moment you see it in real life, it's not like the picture. It's smaller in size, the quality is different, and this is why photoshopping of pictures is a big business. When you see a sandwich on display to be sold in a particular shop, you feel hungry. The sandwich looks wonderful, but when you buy the actual thing, it doesn't relate to it at all. Likewise, you see a pen, you see a watch, you see a car. The picture is not telling you everything. So this is ambiguity that has to be changed. And Islam says that it's either removed by seeing it actually or by a description that fits as a glove. This is done usually in so many cases. For example, if you want to buy a mobile phone, oh, it looks nice, very nice in the picture. No, it has to either be seen in real life, you hold it, you weigh it, you look at it, or the description is listed to you. It's 128 gigabyte, it is model number this and that, it has the capacity of this, the camera is this, the resolution is this. Now I know exactly what it is, there's no ambiguity. The sixth condition is that the price is known. So the price has to be known, because how would I buy an item without knowing the price? Oh, what a beautiful mobile. I'll take it. Okay, it's nice doing business with you. We'll bill you. And the following day I get a bill. Whoa, this is too expensive. It's above my budget. Well, you bought it. Well, I didn't know it's going to cost this much. Well, this transaction is invalid. You have to know so that ambiguity is removed. Unfortunately, nowadays, so many transactions are done in this fashion. And as I said, it revolves around transgression, dhulm, or ambiguity, or riba. Games, for example, you find this a lot when you get in a circus or in the fun fairs, a game, a machine that you put money and you try to grab something, and if you grab it, it's yours. And if you fail, oh, that was fun, I couldn't grab anything, so you lose. Gambling. Likewise, when you auction things, for example, in airlines, they have a lot of baggage that was not claimed. So you see a suitcase, looks nice. And they start to auction it. What are you buying? The suitcase itself costs $200. What's inside it may cost $1,000 or $2,000, and may be nothing. And you start to auction that. This is gambling. This is ambiguity and gharar that is not permissible. The seventh condition is that the item you're buying has to be possible to be delivered. And what do we mean by that? You can't sell something you do not possess or you're unable to deliver. For example, you can't come to the Serengeti and say to someone, okay, you see this zebra? It's yours for $10. Okay, give it to me. So no, you go and catch it. You can't sell a tuna fish in the ocean. Said, the blue tuna fish is yours for $1,000. Where is it? It's in the ocean. Go and get it. You have to be able to deliver it, because this is ambiguity. I can't sell you birds on this in the sky unless I can deliver it. Yani, for example, if I sell you pigeons, and the pigeons are mine, but they're flying. Some scholars say, yes, but they will come back to their nests on my rooftop to eat. This is what they do every day. So it's permissible to sell. No, it's not. Because there's a possibility that someone's gonna shoot them down, or a predator or an eagle can eat them, and then I'm unable to deliver it. So how can I sell it to someone without being able to deliver it? If someone says, yeah, but the buyer is fine with it, still, he's fine because he's gambling, he's getting it for a cheaper price, and that is not permissible. There are transactions that are prohibited in Islam. And there are so many of them, but what comes on top of the list, and you could see that this is the dominant transactions, they are a number of sales. Generally speaking, buying and selling is not forms of worship where innovation is possible, in the sense that if someone says, in Salat, I'd like to put my hand right over the left on my forehead. I said, no, this is an innovation. Why? Because it was not reported in the Quran or in the Sunnah. Issues of worship have to be backed up by evidence from the Quran and Sunnah. If not, then it's an innovation. In transactions, it's the other way around. If there is nothing to prove it's haram, the default is it's halal. Simple as that. Allah says in the Quran, but Allah has permitted trade. وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ. So this is the general tendency. However, there are certain cases and scenarios where Islam tells us that this is not permissible to go ahead with. For example, you're not allowed to sell on the day of Friday after the adhan is called, which usually follows the imam coming into the masjid saying, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and he sits. Then the adhan is called. Once the adhan is called, which means that the imam is going to give his sermon, it is totally prohibited for you to buy and sell. Allah says, O you who believe, when the adhan is called for the prayer on the day of Friday, on Jum'ah, then proceed to the remembrance of Allah and leave trade. This is restricted to those who are obliged to attend. Children are exempted, slaves are exempted, women are exempted, because they are not obliged to attend, so they can sell and buy as well. Also, it is not permissible to trade, to sell and buy things that are used for haram purposes, such as selling weapons to fighting parties. It's a time of fitna. It's a time of civil war. And, I can make a lot of money. I can raise the prices. I can be rich in no time. So I start to sell and buy these haram things. No, it's not permissible. It's not permissible to sell items that are used in haram. So I know this is a brewery, and they're asking me to sell them sugar, sell them water, sell them fruits to be used in their breweries and make intoxicants. No, this is not permissible. Allah Azza wa Jal says, and cooperate in righteousness and piety, and do not cooperate in sin and transgression. So this is not permissible to do that. Among the haram transactions, selling and buying, is undercutting one's Muslim brother or outbidding him. Because the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, do not undercut or outbid one another. How is this happening? I see someone trying to sell another person an item. And he says, oh, this watch is beautiful, it gives you the time, and it's expensive, and it's this much. And I undercut, outbid him. I say, Akhi, I can sell you the same watch $200 less. How would the seller feel? He would feel hostility, enmity, hatred towards me, because I've ruined his deal And this is totally haram and prohibited in Islam. However, scholars say this situation which is forbidden is only after the deal has been concluded. So now we're just writing the contract and I spoiled it. But if it's in the times of auctioning, if it's in the time where a person is looking for a best deal and there's no commitment, no interest, I'm just asking for the price. So they say that there is no problem to say it before a commitment is done, and the safest is to be safe and far away from such dealings altogether until he has concluded his communication, whether by rejecting the offer or by finalizing the deal. I should not intervene so that I would not cause any hatred or enmity in the soul of the seller, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala abdihi wa rasulihi nabiyyina Muhammad.
يا راغبا في كل علم نافع
ينمو العلم ويتقدم بتقنياته ومجالاته، ومعه نطور أدواتنا في تقديم العلم الشرعي. أكاديمية
زاد أكاديمية ينبوعها صاف ليروي غلة الظمآن، وتعلم الفقه الميسر عاملا بالشرع دون تعصب لفلان. بشرى لنا زاد أكاديمية للعلم كالأزهار في البستان.